ask as a favor if you will mute yourself unless you have a specific question, because we all know what happens. Papers rustle and somebody walks in the room and doesn't know you're on and says something and then nobody can hear anything. So that would be great. And we, you know, there's few of us, we can have questions back and
Would you
forth.
like me to make you co-host, Linda? I mean, Suzanne.
I don't know if that's necessary. As long as I can share my screen, I'm fine.
Here, I'll just make you co-host and
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
So I'm Suzanne Bronheim. As Marla mentioned, I right now live in Bethesda, Maryland. I've been here for a lot of years, 40 some years. I retired 3 years ago from Georgetown University, although I still do a little stuff. And got connected with this because my daughter, who does international public health and development, is living in Amman for a year. And we were supposed to go in May and visit her. And then we were going to all come to Israel. And I thought, oh, you know, I'm not working. Maybe I could stay longer and do something with, you know, skilled volunteers for Israel. Well, you know how that worked out. So I was pretty excited when I heard about this. And actually, I've been tutoring some young people who are, two of them are not native English speakers here in a program to help young people who have some economic disadvantage kind of move through and become successful in college and other things. So I thought, great. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is how you can use Google Docs in the work that you're doing with your students. I have to say, I kind of stole this whole idea. I've been studying with Ulpan Or in Israel off and on for, I don't know, 3.5 years now. And also some of my professors at Georgetown when I studied Hebrew used it. So I'm going to, I think what I'll do is I'll start and just kind of show you how I use it. And then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of how do I do this, okay? So hold on, and no, right. Let me share my screen. There we go. Okay. So what I will often do is use this document as we're talking to set up our homework. And what's nice about Google Docs is once you've set up a document and shared it, both of you can work in it. And it automatically saves what happens. So I might say, here's your homework for this week. And I would leave, they would get it without the sentences, right? They write sentences in there. And then what we can do is when we're on our call, on our Zoom or whatever you're using, I can either share my screen or even better, we both sort of minimize and we both can open the Google Doc at the same time. And we see it at the same time. And any changes I make, they see. Any changes they make, I see. And so, for example, if my student had sent me this, I might say, let's talk about it. In English, we have to have an article. So we have to either say he reads a book or he reads the book, and then I would type it in, hopefully correctly. And then my student, my mentee would see it, and we could talk about it. Now, one of my mentees said, you know, I want to see my mistakes as well. So you can do that. You can work in this just like a Word document, really. You can copy. You can copy this, and you could paste it here. So the person can compare it, or they may not want to do that. But those are options you have, okay? And we just can go back and forth. You could say that if they're going to write, say, a paragraph for you, they can write it in Google Docs. They can share it with you. And when you have your session, you both open the Google Doc and you discuss it, and you can type in corrections or ask them to type in corrections, and you'll see them. And so it's just a nice way that you can both be in the same document at the same time and work on it. And you can go back and forth, and you're not emailing Word documents back and forth, or you know, sending things back and forth. It's just all there. And then in fact, you can even check in midweek to see how are they doing with their homework. Is it really working? You know, have they not done it? Is there some issue? And so let me just stop there. Is that making sense to people, that how you could use this? Okay, yeah, Pearl.
Yes, this form that you had, this sheet that you typed it on what to get it on Google Doc? I mean, how did you do that?
Right. All right, I'm going to show you in a minute. You type right into Google Docs. It's like a word processing kind of thing. So I'm going to show you how you get there, okay? But I just wanted you to see how you could use it to see, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
All right.
Wait,
Okay.
can I ask you a quick question, Suzanne?
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to cover this. Are you using screen share with your student, or are you both? Are you on the Zoom and minimizing the Zoom screen so that you have the Google Doc separately? Are you
Both. You could do
both?
it either way.
Okay.
So you can share your screen with them, or you can both kind of, you know, you go out of full screen and you each have the Google Doc open. You can still see each other a little, you know, in the little pictures, and then you both see the document. Okay? Yeah, so you can use it either way. So how do you get to Google Doc? All right. Let me just do something quickly here. Okay, come back. So the first thing is, to use Google Docs, you have to have a Google account. So if you have Gmail, you have a Google account. If you don't have Gmail, Google account, and you can sign up. You can Google anything, I've discovered. I was Googling how to form a round challah effectively this morning. There's just no end to what you can Google. But you do need to have a Google account. So once you, let me just share my screen so you can see. Come on. All right. All right, so now you're seeing my email, and it's my Georgetown account, but you can see it's a Gmail account. So when you're in your Gmail account, you see all these little dots over here. When you click on that, you get all sorts of cool stuff. And you can go right to Google Docs. Okay. Now, I'll show you what I prefer, because this just throws them all out there and it's not very organized. It's kind of in chronological order. But what I prefer is to click on this Google Drive, okay? Now, your Google Docs will be here. I have some Google Forms, I have other things, and you can say recent, so you see your most recent things, shared with me. So if, for example, if your student created a Google Doc, now I'll show you, you'll know about it, but sometimes this is where I can find them, and you can sort of see what's there. But if I go back to my drive and recent, you can see they're in chronological order. And what you can do then is, to start, you're going to click new. And you're going to say, I want a new Google Doc. And then you get that white sheet. It's just like opening a Word document. And if you look across the top, if you use Word, you'll see a lot of familiar things. You can change the text, you can change the size of the font, you can bold, you can underline, italic, you can change the text color. I mean, so if you use Word, it's very similar. This is, you know, left align, right align. You can do numbers, you know, if you want to say, you know. So you just type in it, just like you would type in, you know, a Word document. Now, the thing about this is it automatically saves whatever you type, automatically. If you change something, you can use the go back button immediately, but later on, it's not like it's saved in that version. So you open a document. Now, let's just call this homework, for example. All right. Now you want to make sure you give your document a title. So you see up here where it says untitled document. If you click there, whatever you've sort of called it down here, or you can change it if you want, will show there. Click again, and now you have a title to your document. So when you go to look for it, you'll be able to find it. I learned that the hard way. It was like, I wasn't aware of it, and I had 3 untitled documents. It was like, oh my God, what are these things? So, you can, one of the things I really like is to use insert and table. And so like if I want to make a table with words and ask them to write sentences, I can insert a table. Or I even just want to make that little box on top, insert a table with just 1 box. You know, it's really just like you work in Word. And you can, you know, you can insert, if there's something that you, like an image that you've copied, you can put that in. Sometimes if there's something like on the internet I want them to use, I'll copy it and just throw it in there and paste it. So again, it's, you know, it's really, if you're used to navigating Word, it's not so different. Just with the fact that once you've changed something, it's saved it, okay? Now, there's a very interesting, anyway, it does that stuff. I'm trying to make a mistake here. Okay, it's not going to do it for me. There is sort of an autocorrect feature in this where it will pop up their mistakes, and they can right-click on it and get feedback on that. Pedagogically, you can decide is that good or bad. One of my students, one of my mentees, he liked it a lot because every time he didn't capitalize words at the beginning of the sentences, it reminded him, and it was immediate feedback, because we had talked about that issue, capitalization in English. I know you don't have capitals in Hebrew, but we have them in English. When you say I, you have to capitalize. When you start a sentence, you have to capitalize. Sometimes the feedback is not all that helpful. I have to say this saves me in Hebrew all the time, because it will do it in Hebrew too.
Suzanne,
Yeah.
Margie is asking that if you type anything, can you use a bigger font to make it easier, a bigger, you know,
Yes.
type to make it easier to see?
Yes, so just like in Word, you can pick the size of the font. You can make it bigger, you can make it even bigger. You just pick the size of the font. It's just like in a Word document. And so you just pick what you want. You can choose a different font if you like, I don't know, if you like something fancy, you know. Whatever you want. It's a document just like a Word document in that sense. You just pick your font, you can pick the size. You have all these little things here that you can use. So for example, you've done that and now you've made it huge by mistake. You can use the format painter feature just like in Word. It really, if you can navigate Word, it's really that these pieces of it are all the same. Okay. Any other questions? All right. So we were talking for a second about if you don't want them to have the autocorrect, you can go here into Tools and Preferences. And see, it automatically capitalizes words. just unclick that. Automatically correct spelling, unclick that and say okay. And now they won't have that autocorrect feature. It won't correct it for them, okay? So like I said, there's good things about it, bad things about it. You know, it's something they should leave in if they're, what I suggest to them is what, because I do this, I mean, one of my, I don't know if either of my mentees are so hot on Microsoft Word, but if they type stuff in here and can see what's wrong, they can correct it, say, before they send an email to somebody. And at least it'll be a little more on target. I mean, if I have to send an email to somebody in Hebrew, I'm in Google Docs first and checking it out and then copying it and pasting it into the thing so I won't totally embarrass myself. All right, so those are the things. So you just tell it you want a new one. You know, you give it a title, you decide what fonts you want, what sizes you want. You want to insert a table, you want to insert a picture, whatever you want to do, you just work it like that. Now comes the part about sharing. So you see this big blue button that says share. Okay. There's two ways to share. If the other person has a Google account, you just type their email in here. Like, I can type Marla, okay? And then I can write her a little message like, you know, hi Marla, this is our homework for this week. Okay, and then I send it. Now mine will pop up a message to me because I'm part of a university saying, oh, wait, this person's not in the university. You sure you want to send it? And you say, yes. I'm not sure that you'll get that. But if the person you're sending it to doesn't have a Google account, you can still share a document. Okay. So let's go back. And here you can get a link. So now only somebody who has that link can get into it, but you can copy the link and then paste it into an email and send it to that person. Okay, so there's two ways you can share a Google document. Either way, they then get something that gets them into the document.
Suzanne, did you do anything special to get the get link option?
Hold on, let me. All right, let's do this again, share. All right, so you get two choices. Okay, share with people in groups. So you just put their email, their Gmail address in here. And then let's put Marla, okay. And then it will pop up this little thing and you can write them a nice message. They will then get an email saying, Suzanne Bronheim has shared a Google Doc with you, and give them a little button to click. I have found one of my mentees somehow ignores that, and I have to then also email him and say, I shared a document with you, go into the Google Drive and look. But they will get that. Now the other thing is,
how did you get, I'm sorry, but how did you get, when you go to share and before when you go to Drive, you zip past that and I never see what you clicked on.
Okay. Can you all see this little share button in blue? Yes, you may have to move the pictures around a little. It's the top right of the screen. It says share. It's a big blue button. So people see it? Are you seeing it, Nachman?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Margie has asked if you can open a file for all your homework and send them a link to share the file instead of just sharing each time. So maybe you could address sort of the ongoing use if you're using same documents, new documents.
So sometimes I will continue in the same document over time. sometimes I'll create a new document. So Marjorie, unmute yourself because I can't hear you.
No, I meant, can you open an entire file or directory, you might call it, and call it ESL homework. And then every time you do a sheet, you add a new sheet to that file. And so then they can always just, if you share this whole directory, you can, everything will be in there, so you don't have to do one at a time. You don't have to keep sending.
All right, so let's go back. New.
Yeah, folder, I guess is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, so yes, you can create a folder. All my homework. Okay, then create it. Okay, and now I'm going to open it. And now you can create a new document in it, or as many documents as you want. So yeah, that's a good question.
And then when you do share, can you set it up so it's a shared folder instead of separate shared documents? And that way you finish the class and it's always in that folder and they just have to open the folder and find the sheet.
Okay, so let's go.
It would save you always emailing.
So you were in the file and you could click on that and it says share and you can share it.
So at that point, have you shared the folder or just shared a single doc?
You've shared the file, the folder.
The folder, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go from the folder, let's find the folder. My drive. Okay, so here's your folder, right? I clicked on the name of the folder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said share. So now you're sharing the folder.
Okay, okay.
Okay, good question. Yeah. I'm just not that organized, but it's a good question. All right. Any other questions so far about this? Yeah, Pearl, you have to unmute yourself.
Unmute.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just wondering again, like if I have a picture of something
Yes.
and I want to put it on for my student, how do I do that?
Okay, so I'm going to open a new document and insert and an image. I'm going to upload it from my computer. Let's see, God knows what I've got on here. Okay, didn't like that one. Pictures, okay. All right. So then you just click on the image you want.
So how do I get the image? How do I get it? Like, let's say from my photos, if I want to get something from my photo.
Yeah, that's what I just did. Okay, let me do it again.
So,
all right, insert, right?
yes.
Image, upload from computer.
So I have to get the photo first from my photos and open it. Is that it?
No.
No, I don't understand them.
You're going to go to your computer and go to where you keep your pictures, right?
Okay.
Right. You have them all in some place on your
Photos,
computer.
yes.
Pictures, photos, and then you go and you find the one you want, and you click on it, and it shows up.
But you do it through the insert. Do you see, Pearl, on the document there's an insert?
On top, file, edit, view, insert.
Oh, insert, yes.
It's just like a Word document.
I don't know Word documents.
Okay. So then you say, if it's a picture, I want an image, and it's on my computer.
Okay.
I'm gonna upload it, and then it takes, I chose to go to pictures, whatever you call your thing.
Okay.
And then you say, okay, I want, I'll take this picture and
Okay.
and then it pops it in. And then you can also size it, just like you do in other things. You can make it smaller if you need to. All right.
Okay.
Now, if I found something on the internet and you can copy that, you can just copy it and paste it in like you would any place.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. It saves me a lot of work.
Yeah. So you just insert it. You just tell it insert, image, upload from my computer. You're going to tell it where on your computer it lives. You click on that. For me, it was in pictures. And then you pick it, and then it goes in. And then, like I said, if you click on the picture, you can make it, you can resize it because it's like, oh, I don't want it to be quite that big.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, all right.
Yes, thank you. I will try that after.
Okay, great.
Could I just stick in there, sometimes when I'm teaching new vocabulary and I want an image,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes we just show each other our cell phones, but sometimes I'll just go to Google Images and I'll find something for a vocabulary sheet and I'll copy the image, not the URL, but the image, and paste it into the vocabulary sheet and size it. So that's what you're describing. And, you know, it's very helpful sometimes when kids, when students don't know certain vocabulary.
And you can search the web for a photo, okay? So now it's saying, let's see, tables. Okay, so I've done insert and I said, search the web for me. I go, oh, this is a nice table. I click on it and it inserts it. You don't even have to copy and paste if you want to, you know, if you want to go on the internet. So again, I went to image and I said, search the web. I said tables, we could put chairs. Okay, I like this chair. I'm going to have that too. Okay. So you can get it from the internet. You can get it from your computer. If you had things, you might have some images stored on your drive. Photos. I don't have any on my Google account. Some people store their photos in their Google account, but you could do that. Or you could put a link in. So, all right. So is that helpful? All right. Other questions? So you're going to use this insert. You can use it for the tables. You can use for image. You can create a graph if you should want to. You can put page numbers in your document. Okay. All right. So we've gone in, we've created it, we've shared it. Then the only other things are, is anybody working off of like an iPad or a tablet?
Suzanne, nobody on this call is, but I do think there are some tutors who are working off an iPad.
Okay. In that case, you have to download the Google Docs app on an iPad or on an Android pad. There is an app for it. Once you download it, you'll be asked to sign in with to your Google account, which will be your Gmail and your password. And then you can use Google Docs on the pad. I haven't done that, so I can't tell you exactly what it looks like, but it's going to have the same functionality if you need it.
Can I ask a question, please? Is this replacing Zoom?
No. This is just sharing documents.
So you have to be in Zoom and to share all this. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, no. You can share the document with the person. So you write out their homework and you share it with them. They open the document on their end in their Google Drive. And you say, oh, this is my homework. They work on it in that document. When you get together on Zoom, either you can share your screen and you can look at it together, or you can go out of the full screen and say, let's both open that Google Doc together, because then you can both see it at the same time and you talk about it and you can correct things. I'll write write things like if they've made a mistake or something, I'll write a note.
But that will show up on your Zoom.
It depends how you do it. If you share your screen, it will show up on your Zoom. If you decide not to share your screen, go out of full screen in Zoom and go to your Google Drive and open the document. Have them do the same thing. You'll both see the document at the same time. It will be exactly the same, but you won't be seeing it through Zoom. You'll be seeing it on Google Docs. Okay?
Okay.
Corinne, you have to unmute.
I am a total idiot when it comes to this, okay? Everything you say makes complete sense. No problem. It's the sharing it on Zoom that I really am confused about. What do you have? What are the steps that you have to take? Where do you search it, and what and how do you search it? That is what I want to know. Creating it isn't a problem. It's sharing it.
Okay, sharing it on Zoom. So there's two ways. You can share it on Zoom, or you can both just open the document, be in it at the same time, and be on Zoom at the same time. You just tell Zoom, I don't want to be in the full screen, so that you just, it's not taking up your whole screen. And you both just open the document, and you could be in it together.
But there's an icon on the Zoom, though, Suzanne, is there, to enable you to open the doc. Because I can share the screen, and I write on the whiteboard, but if I want to then share a doc, what icon do I actually have to?
No, there's no icon. There's no icon on Zoom to share the doc. You have to have the doc open in your Google Drive. You have to have the Google Doc open. Okay, you just open it up and be ready. And then if you want to share it on Zoom, you do share screen. All right. And then you find the doc. It'll be, it'll give you choices. Don't pick whiteboard. If you've opened the document, you should be able to see it in that little box where it says, share screen. You click on that document and you can share it on Zoom. But what I'm saying to you is you don't have to share it on Zoom. You can just both be in the document at the same time and minimize, go out of full screen Zoom. So, all right. You'll both see the document. You'll both be in the document and you could both write in it at the same time.
This is Marla. I would suggest that I think this is amazingly easy if you've worked with Google Docs and if you've worked in Zoom. I think for the people who are new to all of these technologies, it's a little bit overwhelming. And maybe tutors who would like to practice could let me know by email, and maybe we'll pair you up with someone so that you could experiment with opening docs and do it in a safe environment so that you're not doing it with your student until you feel a little bit more comfortable. We could set up a couple people to practice together, maybe someone who feels a little more confident and someone who feels a little less confident.
Yeah, it's good to play with this.
Yeah.
I practice with my husband. I'll say, go upstairs with your computer. I'm sending you a Zoom link. Does this work? Anytime I try something new, we have a group, a chavurah from our synagogue. It's around opera. And so we gotten together on Zoom, and then people had sent me links to things on YouTube and that there were favorites and play. Well, there's lots of little tricks to that. And I thought, I'm not trying this the first time with them. So like I said, Ben, go upstairs on your computer and let's play with this. And that's how you just have to play with it. But it's, what I'm saying to you is you can share the document on Zoom, just like you share any other document on anything else on Zoom. You just have to have it open so you can share it. Or you can stay on Zoom and let's see, let me stop sharing if I can. If you look at the top right of your screen on Zoom where it says exit full screen, do you see that? If you click on that, all right, you can see what's on your computer. You can basically do work on your computer. So you can, then if you click on something, it looks like you went away, but you're at the bottom. That little video camera at the bottom is you. So click on it again. But then you can just open your Google Drive, and then you can just open something. And then when you're done with that, if you go up to the right end, it says enter full screen. Do you see that? After you click that top right, it says speaker view, and then enter full screen. Click on that, and you get the whole screen back. So that's how you can use Google Docs without sharing your screen. That's how you can do it, so you can both write in it at the same time. You just get out of the full screen so that Zoom isn't like taking up your whole computer screen. And then you can get into the other things on your computer so that you could open up that doc and look at it at the same time. So those are just things to practice, going in and out of full screen, getting to something on your computer. I mean, even if you have to share a document on Zoom, sometimes I think it's up in that little box, but it's not. So I have to go out of full screen, open it on my computer, go back into Zoom, say share screen, and oh, now it's there and I can click on it and share screen. So this little exit full screen, go back to full screen is really useful if you have to flip between using your computer and Zoom while you're on Zoom.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Suzanne. So I guess I would suggest that those of you who have not worked in the past with Google Docs, do a little practicing just to set yourself up so you can use Google Docs, that you know how to find it, and you open up a new document and you type something in and you save it and you find it again. And then maybe you'll want to share it with somebody you know and see if that works. And then if you're interested, you can email me and say I'd like to be set up with somebody to practice. And if you don't have somebody in your own private life to practice with, we'll find somebody to help you practice.
Right. And the first time you do, make a document, share it with somebody, call them up, because we still use the telephone, or email them, because they're going to get an email and say, okay, open the doc at your end. I'm opening the doc at my end. Okay, so now you're just both in Google Doc together. Forget the Zoom. You're just both in Google Doc together on the phone, right? You type something and they say, oh yeah, I say that. And say to them, type something back to me, and then you see that, just to get the sense of how that works. Then you can graduate to, I'm on Zoom and we're both in the document. How do I get to that? But just play with the Google Doc first, okay?
Great.
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Yeah.
One was, I've been using Word docs that way, but I find I have to give them, I have to give them the remote so that they can type. If I don't give them the remote, they can't type. Is that true with Google Docs, or is that automatic?
It's automatic. That's the purpose of Google Docs.
Okay.
It is a document sharing site. Like at work, there might be 4 of us working on a grant proposal, and each person has to put their voice in. We used to, like, you'd put it into Word, then you'd copy it and you'd paste it, and it was crazy. You've got one document now, and then if somebody wants to edit, you'd say to somebody, go and edit it.
Okay.
Just edit it.
And what it automatically saved is whatever it is in the last change that someone made?
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
And
So if you want to
question
preserve something, copy it.
Is if you have already a Word doc and you save it to Google Docs, are there any formatting issues around that at all?
Oh, you can't save it to Google Docs.
You can't save a Word doc. Oh, you
copy and paste it into a Google Doc. That's all.
Oh, you can't save a Word doc to Google Docs. You have to copy and paste. I didn't know.
Microsoft and Google don't talk to each other.
Okay.
But you just copy and paste anything in there.
Okay, thanks.
You can upload a file. I think you can upload.
Oh, you can upload.
Let's
Oh,
see. Let's
you
hold on.
can
And
upload a
I
Word
think you
file.
can download also a
Yeah.
Word, a Google Docs file into Microsoft Word.
Well, let's see. Documents. Let's. All right. Oh, here's one. Okay. So now it's uploading an item. Upload completed. Okay.
Because I thought Janet and I.
So you will see it, but you'll see it as a Word document. So I would just say copy and paste it because then you get the full functionality.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think it tends to work better. I mean, we're not, you know, having to deal with huge documents where it would be horrible to try and get it all in.
Can I ask a question? If there's perhaps an article in the paper that I would like to share, would I use the same format? Copy and paste it into Google Docs?
You could, or you could give them the URL to it. You know, I mean, if you're just sharing it with one person, there's no copyright issues. So yeah, you can copy and paste anything in there you want.
And that way we can read it together, because I do like to read newspaper articles together with my students as well.
Right. Yeah, you can read it together. I don't know if you've copied and pasted it from the newspaper, if you'll be able to change anything within the article. You could play with that and see. I don't know how that'll work because I don't know what format it would be in the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
Anything else, or I think we can say goodbye and thank you to Suzanne. That was really terrific.
I found it very helpful. I will
Thank
practice,
you very much.
but I want you to record it, Marla. So
Recorded, and I will get it loaded onto
Yeah,
our
it's just
YouTube channel.
play around with it. You know, click on those different things on the top and see what they do. You're not going to explode your computer.
Thank you very much.
thank you. Thank you.
All right, good to see you. It's so nice to see your faces.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Be
Shana
well.
Tova.
Bye-bye.
Shana Tova.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.